I now invite Kaylee Triplett to come forward to light the chalice and lead us in our affirmation of covenant, which is in your order of service.
Good morning, beautiful people. You know me. I'm here with my best friend. Say hi, Addie. Hi. Addie, everybody.
Welcome, Addie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I light this chalice with these words. Open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Open our minds to learn what is true. And open our hearts to love one another. Please join me in the affirmation of covenant, which you can find printed in your order of service, saying, Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. Have a wonderful morning.
So the sermon title for today does let you know that I'm going to talk about Taylor Swift and Beyonce quite a bit. It's pretty obvious. And I promise I'll get to those queens very soon. But first, there's someone slightly less famous that I want to talk about. Do you know who Antoinette Tuff is? Anyone? We should know. We should all know. She was a bookkeeper at an Atlanta elementary school who prevented a horrific school shooting from happening. She didn't do it with guns. She didn't do it with violence of any kind. She didn't do it with threats. She stopped the gunman with nothing but the power of her presence and love anchored in compassion. Even though she had the chance to escape, she chose instead to stay in a small room with an armed gunman who was 20 years old. She talked with him for more than an hour, persuading him not to use his loaded AK-47 on the school children. And now I want to read to you about her from this book and about her discussion with this 20-year-old gunman. She said, "Don't feel bad, baby," she said, according to the tape of her 911 call. "We all suffer. My husband just left me after 33 years, she told the troubled young man. I got a son with multiple disabilities. If I can get over tough times, so can you." Later, when asked how she had done what she did, Miss Tuff said she practiced what her pastor called anchoring. First, anchoring in one's inner strength, and then letting empathy and compassion lead the way. "I just let him know that he wasn't alone," she said. "I kept saying, 'Baby, we don't want you to die today. You belong to us. Just put your guns down. I won't let anyone hurt you.'" And that's exactly what happened. He put his guns down. She talked with him for an hour. And then the SWAT team came in and took him away. No one was hurt. We as a society have a lot to learn about how women own their power. We have even more to learn from how Black women own their power. Now let's examine that word for a minute. Power. What does it mean to have power? What does it mean to use power? Over the years in our predominantly patriarchal society, power has been synonymous with physical strength, money, arms, violence. America is not called the most powerful country in the world because of how well we take care of our elders or how well we take care of our asylum seekers. It is not called the most powerful country in the world because of how compassionate we are or how every one of our children is fed. No, it's our wealth, our strength, our political influence, and our military capability that have earned us that dubious title. The definition of power in this context is the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. But didn't Antoinette Tuff have that kind of power? Why isn't compassion and love and presence rooted in empathy, like Antoinette exemplified, what we associate with power? Now remember the reading before the sermon in that line, "Tell me to what you pay attention, and I will tell you who you are." If we take a more soft, more compassionate view of power, more womanist view of power, we might have other heroes. Speaking of heroes, when the Wonder Woman movie came out back in 2017, circumstances made it so that I saw this movie completely alone. My family couldn't go for some reason, but also the theater was completely empty. I was alone. I had my own private showing. I sat there, transfixed by the type of power Wonder Woman portrayed in that film. Yes, she had superhero strength, okay, yeah. But her true power was her compassion, her softness. Throughout the movie, they allowed her to be fully a woman, not just a female superhero portraying the male superhero archetype. Her tenderness was not a weakness, it was her greatest strength. Tears rolled down my face as I sat there, amazed at how good it felt to have that kind of representation. We need heroes who show us what power looks like from a woman's perspective. Heroes like, yes, you guessed it, Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Or as I like to call them, Tay and Bay. Now, I imagine some of you sitting here today have maybe never even given a thought to these two. That's okay. We all have our personal favorites, but I want to call attention to the fact that a vast majority of the young people in this country, especially young women, love either Taylor or Beyonce or both. These two artists have the ear of our young people, and I don't know about you, but I like to pay attention to the young women. This makes me think that there's something going on here that we might want to examine more closely. Tell me to what you pay attention, and I will tell you who you are. When a woman moves through the world sitting in her power and owning it like Taylor and Beyonce both do, it makes them a target. People have opinions. Their bodies get scrutinized, their motives are questioned, their love lives become our soap operas, and we give our thoughts on their music as if we are paid critics. It takes a hell of a lot of bravery just to be Taylor Swift or Beyonce. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't pay that much attention to these two, either of them, until I started listening to them in the process of mothering my teens. I generally like to know about and care about what my kids are into, so I listened, I learned. I've learned about how they prioritize their philanthropy. I've seen how they lift other women. I've seen how they stand up for themselves with authentic power, not apologizing for taking up space, but acting from love. They open their hearts to us with vulnerability, willing to use their own thoughts and feelings as art. I have been watching them move through the world as deeply womanist heroes, in many ways, much like Antoinette Tuff, much like Wonder Woman. It would be a mistake for us to think of these women as just pop stars or celebrities. They are artists, storytellers, cultural flashpoints who show us who we are by letting us in to who they are. They are also savvy businesswomen who have built creative empires by lifting as they climb. They are truly the kind of heroes we need to pay more attention to. So here, for your listening pleasure, is a list of The philosophy of life according to Taylor Swift and Beyonce, aka the 7 principles of Tay and Bay. Number 1, give and give and give again. When Taylor Swift crossed the billionaire mark, she began to make some bold choices, going beyond her usual philanthropy. On her recent national tour, she made huge donations to food banks in every town where her tour stopped. The food banks wouldn't say how much it was, but they said it was enough money for them to feed everyone for many years to come. Taylor also gave $100,000 bonuses to every truck driver on her tour who were already very well paid. Beyonce started her own philanthropic organization, Baygood, in 2013. The homepage of her organization sounds as UU as anything I've ever seen, stating in bold letters that everyone has the right to economic equity. She gave her money to hometowns in Texas and Louisiana when hurricanes hit. She sponsors scholarships, Black-owned small business grants, and donates to communities in need. Give and give and give again. Generosity and compassion will always be the right way forward. Number 2, you are your own biggest love story. They both write about the loves in their lives, giving us a glimpse into heartbreak and passion and loss. But the primary constant is that they have fallen in love with themselves, not in a self-involved way, but simply in a I like who I am, and I am inherently worthy, so treat me well or get lost kind of way. I don't know about you, but this is what I want my kids to think. They show us that our hearts and our emotions aren't something to be ashamed of. Number 3, lifting others will lift you too. Both of them are constantly lifting lesser-known artists. And then there's the story of the Kanye West, for Pete's sake. When Taylor was receiving an award at age 19, and she was in competition with Beyonce, and Taylor was surprised, and she came up to get her award, and then Kanye took the mic from her, and then Taylor never got to speak. They cut her off when she started to speak. Later that night, this is the part everyone forgets about this story. Later that night, Beyonce won the big award of the evening. And when it was her time to get up and speak, she gave the mic to Taylor. Lift others as you climb. Number 4, remain soft and permeable to the world and be a conduit for what you learn. Compassion is a superpower. Paying attention is how we access it. So as artists, Beyonce and Taylor are always reflecting to us what they see in the world. This is what good art does. It shows us a mirror of ourselves reflected through the unique lens of the artist. So after the sermon, Wild Onions will be playing a song called Epiphany that Taylor wrote. During the early days of the pandemic, she was at home alone like the rest of us, doing what was right, staying safe. And she wrote songs that became one of our most beloved albums from her. Like the rest of us, she was praying for those in danger on the front lines of the pandemic in the hospital. Before the vaccines, it was brutal to be in the medical field in those days. Taylor was reminded of the experience of her grandfather during World War II. She realized that those 2 experiences had a lot in common, and that we, as a society, were also doing very similar things during those days. We were all doing our part to support the troops, so to speak. Now listen to the lyrics of how she combines the experience of her grandfather in World War II and the experience of a medical person in the pandemic days. Keep your helmet, keep your life, son. Just a flesh wound, here's your rifle. Crawling up the beaches now. Sir, I think he's bleeding out. And some things you just can't speak about. And then she speaks about us and the people at home. With you I serve, with you I fall down. Watch you breathe in, watch you breathe out. And then the next stanza goes to COVID times. Something med school did not cover, someone's daughter, someone's mother. Holds your hands through plastic now. Doc, I think she's crashing out. And some things you just can't speak about. With you I serve, with you I fall down. Taylor sang what we were all feeling deeply during those days and put them together with her family's experience of war. She was permeable to the world, and she shared it with us. Number 5, surround yourself with passionate, supportive community. No one is an island. Both of these women know the importance of who your squad is. Number 6, even if you are a wealthy goddess who has private jets and you can have your heart's every desire, even then you still have a responsibility to make the world a better, more just place. You still have a call to work so that everyone might one day have their heart's desire. So I want you to listen now to this song by Beyonce. It's called American Requiem, and it's a call to America to wake up and care about our future, healing from the sins of the past and bringing forward the world we dream of. She speaks about the big ideas that are buried here and asks us to stand with her in this work. Her chorus sounds not unlike a lot of the language I heard from General Assembly this week. Can we stand for something? Now is the time to face the wind. Now ain't the time to pretend. Now is the time to let love in. So Beyonce used her platform to call for change and to call us into that change. And finally, principle number 7, when all else fails and things just feel too hard, shake it off. You know the song? I shake it off, I shake it off, I shake it off, I shake it off. Women like Taylor and Beyonce and Antoinette Tuff and Wonder Woman are my heroes. They are powerful, yes, tough as nails, but their most authentic power is their tenderness, their kindness, their generosity, their willingness to sit with their feelings and share them with us. We, as UUs, can embody these superpowers too, channeling the grace of these women. Tell me to what you pay attention, and I will tell you who you are. Let us remember that authentic power can be vulnerable and kind. Power can be staying up all night with the children or holding an elder's hand as they pass. Power can be as gentle and loving as a woman talking down a gunman with nothing but love. So may it be, so may we become. Amen.
I'm going to invite Kaylee Triplett back up to extinguish the chalice as we say our closing words together. Rise, everyone, as willing and able. Go out into the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings.
Thank you. Yeah.